Today's a really special day. ISIS is releasing our first white paper with the support of the Ford Foundation, and it's called TECHSx USA Youth Digital and Reproductive Health, Youth Sexuality and Reproductive Health in the Digital Age. We've been really busy over the last few months, so I've already, just this morning, had half a dozen people say, "Did you get my email?" I'm really sorry if I haven't gotten back to you. What we've been doing is we've been out interviewing stakeholders in the field. We've talked to everyone from digital learning specialists like Dana Boyd to national researchers like Dr. Sheena Bull. We surveyed thousands of youth nationally about their sexual health, learning, and digital habits. And we conducted focus groups with hundreds of youth of color in Oakland, California, and in Chicago, Illinois. From this process, I can tell you, I've got some good news, and I've got some bad news. Let's start with the good news. The teen pregnancy rate has been declining for the past 2 decades. Today, we're at a historic low of 39 per 1,000 pregnancies. 1,000 teens. That's all the good news I have. And I got a lot more slides. When we look at African American and Hispanic teen populations, we see rates of 126 and 127 births per 1,000 teens, respectively. That is more than 3 times the national numbers for the same age group. The disparities don't stop with teen pregnancy. 15 to 24-year-olds comprise half of all the sexually transmitted infections acquired nationally. And more than half of all the HIV infections reported among young people are in the African American community. Chlamydia rates for young African American women are 9 times as high as the rates for Caucasian women. What's going on here? Many of us in this room have been in the business of sex education for decades. We've added it to grade school, middle school, and high school curriculums. We've funded programs at the community, state, and national levels. We've run ads, we've sponsored campaigns, and we've provided tools to parents, teachers, and clergy. So what gives? I would argue that we've lost our perspective. As we adults get farther and farther away from our youth, we forget that sex, both doing it and thinking about it, is a daily reality for young people. We fall into the patterns, and we've become entrenched of thinking that we know better, and we just have to tell youth what to do. But obviously, we're doing it wrong, because while we're reaching some youth with messages that work, we are not reaching our most vulnerable youth. I would challenge everyone here to think about how you actually acquired information about sex when you were growing up. Really acquired it. The high school gym teacher might have come in to speak for a week's worth of health classes, or your parents might have given you the talk. But is that how you really learned about sex? What about sneaking a peek at dirty magazines or videos? What about the information you got from friends or older siblings? What about your hands-on experience? Those were the true sources of knowledge we had growing up. Not true because they were necessarily correct, but true because it's what we paid attention to. Let's stay on this, back up one slide for a moment. Fast forward to today. The landscape is much more complicated. Media's exploded. Sex information's everywhere, from Google to games and Hulu to health class. Now, I want to take a moment to define what I mean about information. Information may not be actually what you're thinking. Information's not limited to the formal clinical texts and pamphlets that we use to educate our kids. Information is actually defined as anything having to do with the subject. And that can include everything from gynecological diagrams to Girls Gone Wild. Everything is information, you guys. And to the rabidly curious and easily aroused, hormone-infused young people out there, the sexier the information, the more they pay attention. Think of it like this. Are kids going to pay attention to Sister Mary Vonage or Nicki Minaj? PE teacher Dan Black or R&B singer Chris Brown? Our Bodies Ourselves or Hot Bodies, hosted by Mel B? I had to learn who all these people were. You may not like this idea. You know, I know the people in this room know, that people are trying to constrain the sources and the types of information that we make available to our youth. But they're not living in reality. All this information is out here. And there's no denying it to those who have the will to learn and to find out. They will find a way. And I'm as concerned as you are that some of the information they're finding may not be correct, and that it can lead people to all sorts of bad decision-making and consequences. But you have to look at this as a marketplace of information, and you have to respect youth as consumers. They will not settle for the product that we give them. They will seek out the product that they want. The product they want, interestingly enough, is what we want them to have, but not in the way we've been delivering it. To illustrate this idea, take a look at a video that was developed for ISIS by Funny or Die, a very popular, irreverent site with videos made by youth.
You can get pregnant from wearing your boyfriend's unwashed boxer shorts.
If you don't want to get STD, spray your parts with a garden hose.
If you run out of condoms, it's okay to use a plastic bag.
Chlorine kills sperm, so as long as you have sex in a pool or a hot tub, you're good to go.
Pregnancy only happens if you secretly want it to.
A penny in your vagina prevents pregnancy. Everybody knows copper kills sperm.
Don't worry. You can always pray your STDs away.
STDs are only transmitted in the last 10 seconds of intercourse.
Hell yeah, you can get STDs from a toilet seat. Why do you think they have those paper thingies in the bathroom?
People who get STDs are disgusting losers.